Hi everybody, my name is Kunle Pelemo. You can call me KP. I'm asking you to join me every Friday, 5:30 p.m. GMT on the MHAASP show right here on
AP Radio UK.
MZ Radio London.
It's a show where we talk about mental health and suicide prevention. Set a reminder for that. And just before I go, I want to let you know I care about your mental health. And you know what? Stick around right here on this station. Don't go nowhere. From our place of pain to attaining wholeness and enjoying emotional bliss and mental harmony. Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the show no other person than my very good friend, Zuriel Oluwabukunola Olowe. Zuriel, good to have you join me.
Nice coming on your show. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. And wherever you may be watching from, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And I hope you're all enjoying your emotional bliss and mental harmony this season.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so sure everybody is. And if you're not, that's why you need to stick around to this show, because I'm sure by the time Zuriel is done with me on this show, everybody is going to experience emotional bliss. That's why she's called the healing educator, the healing educator. So let's go straight to the business of the day, Zuriel. Now, when you told me, I've known you to be a healing educator, the play therapist, and somehow you just got to tell me that you once had these suicidal thoughts, and I was thinking it ended there, and you said it even got to that point that you had you had made the attempt, of taking what should I say now? Because we are making people desist.
Taking my own life.
Of taking your own life. Yeah. We are trying to make people desist from the use of the word commit suicide, because it's been advised that it's better to say someone took his life or somebody died by suicide instead of making it sound like a crime. So I want to ask, when did this start and how did it all start from the beginning? Just let us in that.
Okay, so my first suicide attempt happened when I was 10 years old. At that point in life, I felt I had a vacuum in my life. At that point in time in my life, I felt, because for me, there was no father figure for me growing up in the house for me then. And it wasn't as if it was not there, it was there, but it was just not present in my life. And he wasn't playing his responsibility as a father. Though much years later, we actually got to meet. But you know when you're not there for your child, and you miss this thing. You're getting to see every other child with their dad. You're getting to see every other child with their papa or daddy come around. You go for parties, you see children with their dad. You go to church, you see other children with their dad, your cousins and every other one. But for you just find that vacuum, that space, that emptiness. And I have a very strong mother, an amazing strong mother, who actually played, at that time, who played the dual role of parenting. And she played it so well, so amazingly well, that ordinarily I am not supposed to feel the vacuum. I went to very good schools. Yes, I went to very good schools. And it was, I think, the reality of it, of not being able to call someone daddy. I think the reality of it, of wanting to have a father hug, fatherly love, and it was not there, hit me at 10 years old. And it's spiral. I know the fear of you can't ask questions. The fear of, you know him, you used to see him, or you saw him, and it just happened like that.
Wow. Now, during that period, did anybody notice the signs and signals? Maybe not your dad now, since you've, told us how there was a little bit of absence in that role. But did anybody, maybe your friends or people who are with you, Did anybody notice the sign, or maybe they noticed and they didn't even take cognizance of it?
Yes, but I think the signs were misunderstood. I'm a very jovial child. I'm a talkative as a child. I'm hyperactive as a child. And you know this thing of when she's no longer as hyperactive as she used to be, when she no longer talks as she used to be, because everybody wants you to be quiet, everybody wants you to be the girl child, to be the girl. So they're telling you you're a lady. And all of a sudden, it looks as if you're not conforming to what they've been asking you to do. Not knowing that it is not what they've asked me to do that is making me conform, but the reality of what is eating me that is making me conform. So it was more or less like a testimony. Oh, like they would say then, Bukola Bukola is not looking for trouble anymore. Bukola is now, you know, she's no longer asked questions, because I know I can ask questions. I could ask question tonight. I can still ask question for the universe, you know. And I was a chatterbox. I was an excited child. I was a fun child. Those were no longer there, so they didn't know. For them, it was more or less like a joy. Oh, she's not a calm girl. She's not behaving like a girl. Oh, she's not behaving like a lady. So that was misunderstood as conforming to what people want at home.
Wow.
So I think one other thing I also realized that I started getting aggressive. Getting aggressive. Yes, I started getting aggressive. I would throw tantrums at what was not necessary. So I was also, you know, I was getting withdrawn.
Okay.
I was withdrawn, but also I was also showing an aspect of me that the fun, hyperactive, excited Bookie did not have. I was also showing that part.
Wow. You are letting us into a whole lot, because the truth is the heterogeneity of suicide itself makes it challenging sometimes, you know, and that's why I've said it on this show that it is so important that people check on people who seem the strongest. You know, when you see someone who is jovial, when you see someone who is all rosy, sometimes is the life of the party. People think they don't have their own issues. People think, you know, they don't go through and they don't even need help sometimes. Sometimes it's very important to, you know, to check on those kind of people. Now, let me ask this. At what point now did you now decide to go carry out the act?
Oh, I think at the point I just got tired. I think at the point I just got tired at 10. I think at the point I just told myself, no, I'm tired. And I got something to, I think at the point that I could no longer carry on. I think that point even as a child, I just got tired of everything. So sometimes you feel that children don't get tired of pains, or children are not emotional, or children do not know pain. That is one of the biggest mistakes parents have done to themselves. So I think I basically just got tired of becoming who I was not. I was missing my fun self. And every time I tried to have fun, I was also feeling guilty of having fun. So I think I just got tired of everything. I just said, then one other thing that happened was, I think somebody died. Somebody died at that period, and they said the person had gone to heaven, which is a better place, which is a beautiful place.
And you felt it?
Yes, as a child, I had a picture of what it was going to look like. I have a picture of what heaven was. I created my own picture, and I wanted to go to heaven. Since they said it was a beautiful place, health was not giving me my desire. And I think that is also one aspect. People also need to be very conscious when they are breaking the news of deaths to children or where to spend her.
Wow. This is highly educating. And I mean, it is very, very, very true. And even as a matter of fact, in reporting suicide, it's been said that those elements that people use in taking their lives should not be totally prioritized in reporting suicide. Showing ropes, showing poison,
Yes.
mentioning the name, it's
Yes.
not really okay. Okay, at this point, we are still with Zuriel Oluwabukunola Olowe, my guest on today's edition of the MHAASP show, where we are talking about our experience. I mean, how she overcame suicidal thoughts and became the well-known healing educator. I'm going to take a short break right now.
Gospel music station, AP Radio.
You're welcome back to your show, the MHAASP show with KP on MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK. Today we are talking about suicide, and I have in the studio with me Zuriel Oluwabukunola Olowe, who is sharing with us her personal experience of how she overcame suicidal thoughts and became the healing educator. She's a therapist, and she's helping a whole lot of people all overboard. Zuriel, glad to still have you in the studio with me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you are letting us into a whole lot about your experience, and I have got about a couple of questions for you before we go on the show. Now, this is very important. You've got to tell us how you overcame the whole struggle and then become who you are today, a healing educator. How did a twist happen?
Okay. Like I said earlier on, I said it was I had my attempted suicide was twice. First time when I was 10, and second time much later. But you see, I got to a point where I think I got to my threshold. I think I got to my threshold personally, and that was divine for me. It was basically divine, because for some people, getting to their threshold and still saying alive, can be difficult. But I got to my threshold, and by divine intervention, I was able to hold myself. I said what I call the self-talk with myself, because between when I was 10, I had to grow. I had to grow. I grew emotionally. I grew socially. I grew mentally. And I grew spiritually also. But also what happened was that I got to that point where I had to ask myself, do I want to stay alive and become someone so that this person who walked out would see me tomorrow and say, if I had known, I wouldn't have walked out. That was one of my thresholds. Then the next threshold was to say to myself, life is sweet. I really do not want to. I do really want to take my life. Eating pounded yam and soup and every other thing is very sweet. But you see, also I had to go in for counseling. I had to go in for therapy, because I needed to be sure that I had gotten to the point where I was ready to walk in sanity, where I was ready to walk in wholeness, where I was ready to hold my essence, and where I was ready to first work on myself, because working on myself was very important. So I went in for counseling, I went in for therapy, and I also had a heart-to-heart talk with myself.
Okay. Wow. That was massive. I mean, it was massive. You are compressing a whole lot into this interview, and I'm sure a whole lot of people are learning from your experience. And the reason why this is important is you don't have to go through what Zuriel go through or went through.
Because the most important thing also for me, Kunle, was to say to myself, I'll be an ungrateful child if I take my life and I have an amazing, the world's best mom who has done so well for me. And because I got to the point where I realized that suicide does not end pain. It may look like it's a solution for me, but actually it's actually the beginning of pain for other people, my friends and people. So, and there's also the possibility that taking my own life may make another person go take their life. Short the life of someone, not short the life of someone. So So it was a whole struggle for me, though.
Yeah,
But I had
yeah.
to get to that point where I had to be real to myself.
Wow, wow, that's so true. That's so true because I mean, you look at the grief that you're going to cause some people, look at the pain that some people are going to go through. Now, that would take me to the next question right now. Looking at our society, what role do you think parents have to play in like a couple of minutes now? Because I don't know why this time is flying this way. So, what role do you think parents need to play in helping prevent suicide in our world today?
The strongest support system anyone can get is the home support system, the family support system, the close-knitted support system, which is the family, the parent, and every other person that lives with that person. And one of the things they need to do is the power of observation. The
Okay.
power of observation. Do not assume that everything is well with that child, or do not assume that everything is well with that niece or nephew staying with you. So
Yeah,
also don't go celebrating when that child saw the chatterbox of the house suddenly
yeah.
becomes the quiet one. Don't go celebrating.
Mm,
So don't
mm,
go celebrating when the quiet one suddenly becomes a chatterbox in the house.
mm,
Always take time out to have discussions with them. Always take
mm,
time out to ask them, how are you feeling? What is going on with you? We do not understand the reading thermometer of children's emotional state of level. So people need to be observant to know that especially when things are happening in the home.
mm,
When there's an issue in the home front, when the child is having challenges in school, when there's an issue in the home front, when the child is maybe having personal challenges, you want
mm,
to make sure you take all those things into cognizance. So as a parent, so this is something I always say to parents, when you're having challenges with your spouse, please do not ignore the emotions of the children.
mm.
Don't
Wow.
ignore it. They're also feeling the pain you're feeling. Sometimes they even
Yeah,
feel it worse because some parents are already prepared for the outcome of whatever is going to happen is that between them and
yeah.
the spouse. But the
But what
children are not
about the
prepared for it.
children?
Yes, they're
You're
not prepared
right.
for it. A certain spouse maybe changes residential address. I try as well to use the word changes residential address when a person passes on. So don't go
Mm,
and start making heaven look like what that child has to go tomorrow. As much
mm,
as you want to tell the child, oh, daddy is no more, daddy has gone to be with the dog, daddy will not come back anymore. Don't go start painting heaven. As much as you know heaven is beautiful, don't go start painting because a child's imagination is strong.
mm, mm.
Child's
Wow.
imagination can run wild and out of your space. But see, most importantly, observation of what is happening to your child. Ask
Mm,
questions. Be
mm,
close to that child. Do not use words also to send your children to their early grave.
mm. Do not put pressure on them. Do not
No,
put
no, there's no need.
unnecessary.
Don't place an expectation that don't place a 5-year expectation and you expect that child to achieve that thing in 1 year. Don't do that.
Mm, mm,
Don't.
mm,
Your child is
mm.
not doing well in school. Don't go on a comparison route. Find out what is happening.
Wow, wow, wow.
Don't
This
compare
is
siblings together. Don't make your child feel as if you are the one. That child is the cause of the problem you're having with your spouse.
tell them they are trying, that you're trying. Give them support.
Yes,
Wow,
yes. No matter
wow.
what, the greatest support any child can have is the home
Yeah.
support. However, if you cannot give that support to that child, look for experts, look for
Okay.
therapists, look for professionals to work with that child. Don't go taking the
Okay.
child to one uncle or one auntie that will damage the child emotionally the more.
Wow. Wow. This is massive. This is massive. Wow. As I feel we should go on and on and on and on. We definitely are going to have you back on the show, no doubt about it. I know you're a busy person. You left a meeting, I mean, to join us on the show. You told me. I must thank you and appreciate you. We've learned a lot from your personal story, and I'm sure a whole lot of people who are listening to this live or who are going to listen to this later on, because we are going to also make it available for people to listen to later on. They are going to learn a lot from your personal story and from the insights you're giving to us on the show today. Zuriel Oluwabukunola Olowe has been my
Oluwabukunola.
Oluwabukunola. Yeah, I saw it and I said, yes, this is the elongated version.
Yes.
Oluwabukunola Olowe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful time with you on the
Thank
show.
you.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate on behalf of everybody on MZ Radio London and AP Radio UK. But thank you so much for coming. And we
Thank
hope
you
that
for
when
having
you
me.
send
Thank you.
an invite again, you are going to honor the invite.
I'll
Okay.
definitely do.
Okay. I mean, time flies. Everybody who is listening to this show, I never knew it's almost time for us to go out of this place. But you know what I always say? It's Friday again. In just a blink, before you know it, we'll be back for another edition of the show. And that is why you need to stick around and keep listening to MZ Radio London, AP Radio UK. We're here for you for good songs, educative programs, and the rest. So that's what you have to do. My name is Kunle Pelemo. I've been with you on the show, and I'm going to leave you with the song of my brother Wole Awolola, and this one is titled Worthy. Stay mentally healthy.
You're worthy to be praised. Lord, you're worthy to be praised.